And welcome back to AllFreeCrochet.com. For more information and lots of great free patterns, please check out AllFreeCrochet.com. Today we're going to make a scarf, and we're making it from Frill Seeker by Estelle. And this yarn is absolutely really interesting. The people over at Spinrite or Burnett Factory Outlet were so excited when they had this on the shelf that I had to buy a few. And basically it looks like it's shoelace cord, but then you open it up, and I'm going to show you the technique and being able to get it, because if you start crocheting it like so, it's never going to open up. Okay, so you have it all shut. So I'm going to show you how to be able to crochet with this so that it stays open, and it's really quite fabulous. And it's just absolutely, this is so easy, it's not even funny. It's just a little bit labor intensive on the second row, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway because it is worth the effort. So let's get going on this fabulous tutorial brought to you by AllFreeCrochet.com. To get started, what we need to do is start opening up some of the first section that you see. So start pulling it open. It looks like a fishnet, and look how generous amount of netting that you're going to get. So this is the interesting thing. In order to keep it open, we do not want to go all the way around like I just showed you in the preview. So what you want to do is just open it up, and you want to stick your hook maybe about 1/4 of an inch or so just below the first line. So just go right into the netting area, and now we just want to grab just the top section again about the same distance, just like so. Now if you go over way over like this is only to your benefit, so don't go in just right beside it. Reach over and just being able to chain it just like so. So just open it up and reach over and pull through. So we're chaining. So reach, so just open it up and reach and pull, oops, reach. So I'm being generous on the amount, because what happens is if you go right beside each other, if I go in like here, you're not going to get much of a ruffle area. So if you give it a little bit of a distance, it's about 1 inch, 1.5 inches away, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And this will naturally want to start twisting in circles on its own, which is to your benefit, because what happens when you go to do the second layer, you can see here that it's all twisting up all really nicely and very even looking because of that. So we're just reaching over and chaining. So you just have to keep reaching over and chaining as long as you want to go. So whether this is a waist wrap, whether this is a scarf, this would be a completely accessory to your wardrobe. It's not practical for the middle of the winter, but it is really quite stunning. It can make an outfit just pop really amazing. So I'm just reaching over, and just see how I'm using my fingers just to stabilize and hold open the pattern, just like so. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because you never think to do something like this with your yarn. And I'm just reaching over, and so by reaching it's creating frills. And now let's just pick it up, and you can see it's starting to turn circles on you, but it's open, right? So you don't want it to close in. So by going in on the one side, then you're just going to be great. So what I recommend to you right now is that make it the length that you want, just continue to chain, and why don't we pick back up exactly where you got to go next after you get your whole chain done. So go as long as you want to go, and we'll meet back up, and I'll go off camera and make it as long as I want to go. So I have 2 of them because I think these would be very good show pieces at a trade show. So let's meet back up in just a few minutes. Another tip that I should tell you about is that I want you to make sure that you're always going in on the one side. So for example, on this next one, don't go down here, stay on the top. Okay, because what happens if you start doing that, you're going to notice that your work is not going to be very consistent, just like it is right now. You'll see that it will, actually I'll show you right now. What happens when you come down here, it's going to close it off and it's not going to be open. So you got to make sure that you stay on one side of the yarn. So just keep on going along the same edge in order to work your way across. So I guess that's a tip, and we'll keep on moving. I just thought of that as I was making this off camera. Okay, so I've done it the length that I want, and now I want to be able to turn this around. And what I recommend is put the string in behind the actual all of your length that you got. I got a whole whack here because I do want this to be a real scarf and not just a sample for the tutorial. So I'm going to put the yarn in behind, and we're going to actually single crochet ourselves all the way back. So for your benefit, this is all going to be twisted around in circles, but if you untwist just some of it, you can actually see the chain just like so. So what I would recommend to you is that, I was thinking about when I was doing it, putting it into both loops just like a regular stitch, but I think like just one is good. So instead of going in both, I think one is just as good and it's easier. So what you want to do is when you go to turn around, you also want to grab it by the same side. So I don't want to be jumping on this side because this side is the one attached. And so we're going to actually single crochet ourselves back across. You can actually slip stitch your way back across if you're that anxious, but what I would recommend is that you want to take your time going back across these stitches. And when you single crochet, what happens is that you're just putting one just like I did, and now we're just going to finalize it. So what you're doing is you're doubling the amount of ruffle per stitch. Okay, so let's go into the very next one. So what happens is you got all this ruffle that I'm going to pull through. So I'm just going to pull through just a section of it, just like so. Okay, so now you got 2 on your hook, and so then you want to grab it again. So what happens is that I've just now applied 2 in there. And what happens also, because this is variegated in coloration, you actually don't mind that, because what's going to happen on this side, it's going to make the colors transition a lot faster, therefore making your scarf or waist belt look even more random than just following along on the variegation pattern versus the first time that you've gone it through. So this step actually does take a bit of time. Obviously not going to film it all for you, but that's how you have to just go across. And why don't we meet back up? I'll go off camera. It takes about an hour to a little bit of an hour to get this all the way across. And so you're thinking to yourself, that's a lot of time. Honey, fashion is not about speed, it's not about comfort, it's all about looking fabulous. So let's keep on going, and we'll meet you back up at the end where we'll finalize this bad boy and you can get it off your hook and onto your neck pronto. We'll talk to you in a few seconds. Well, as promised, an hour has gone by off camera, and now I'm about to finish this off. You can see that this is cut here, and I haven't really done anything about that. You really won't see that when you're done at the end. So what I'm going to just do, we still have the loop going, and what I want to do now is grab the entire thing. Instead of just grabbing a section, grab the entire thing and pull it through the remaining loop, just like so. Okay, and now I'm going to trim on this side of that. And I'm going to pull this out, just like so. Okay, and now what I'm going to just do, kind of cheating, but it's okay. Nobody says I can't. I'm just going to trim it about maybe 1.5 inches, and voila, you're done. So you won't actually ever see that. It's going to open up as well, just like the rest of it, and voila, your scarf is done. And it's actually quite amazing. It's a very, very simple idea, and that's great. So on behalf of All Free Crochet, I'm your host Mikey, and I hope that you have a great day today. Until next time, see ya.